Everyone, I will call to order the Chisholm City Council meeting, July 9th, 2025. Susan, would you please take roll?
Counselor Halaba.
Present.
Counselor Font. Here. Counselor Lassie.
Here.
Counselor Barda.
Present.
Counselor Halverson.
Present.
Mayor Lamb.
Here. All right, Council, I would look for a motion to adopt the agenda. We do have two changes, if you would. We're going to remove E5 under Stephanie and bring that back at the next council meeting. And we're going to add number 8 under myself, which is going to be a street closure request for Poker Run Cancer Cruise, which is a benefit that is hopefully going to be happening in town. So with those two changes, I'd look for a motion and support.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed. Support. Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Pledge of allegiance, if you would.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everybody. It's a nice full house tonight. And we're going to start with public participation. So we have two here. So Joe Koski, would you please like to start for us?
Joseph Koski. I've had K&S Automotive here in Chisholm for about 20 years. We are doing a Cancer Cruise Poker Run on August 9th, benefiting Samuel Hopp, 7-year-old with leukemia. Sam's parents lived in Chisholm, and Randy was an employee of mine at K&S Automotive prior to being at the mine. Not only being an employee of mine, also being a co-worker at the mine for 18 years. He was laid off with Cleveland Cliffs. His son has been going through leukemia treatments now, and with the layoff and extra burden, we've decided to help him out with this. So we're trying to get the street closure off at Tom and Jerry's just for the 9th for the benefit.
Okay. Now on the request, it says from noon till 10. You know, you have street vending that's going to be set up for food trucks. So
We've got 3 as of right now that have confirmed.
4.
Okay, we've got 4, and we'll be setting those up on the street that's closed.
All right. Well, that's going to be on the agenda. It's the last thing. Does anyone have any questions for Joe? Okay, we'll figure out what the times are, and we'll best suit for the food vending and keeping vehicles out of that area. So we'll be in touch with you.
Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
You can go.
That's it. You're good. Yeah. That's right. Appreciate you coming down.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Next up, we have Jen. I know I screw up every time.
Great. Good evening, everybody. As you know, I'm no stranger to public participation, so appreciate the time to come up here. First off, I think I just would like to take a moment to say I know that the summer has brought a lot for our city, and it's been a heavy time. So for me coming up here, I want to bring some lighter things, some positive action that people in our community are doing. So I'd like to just give everybody the chance to be aware of some of these things and also some areas of appreciation. So I have like 5 things, but I will keep this succinct. So number 1, today I got a chance to really witness the magic that can happen when you employ really great people with the city and folks that are quite young. And those are the supervisors with the summer rec program. I had a chance to lead a hike at Redhead, and the officials that you had, the boss Olivia and Katrina facilitating that were wonderful, as well as the specialists, I think we call them. They did a great job, and the kids as well. I think they really do have to pay attention. As we know, Redhead is not just a stroll around Longyear Lake. So really seeing their ability to listen and understand and respect what Redhead brings with the right kind of authority, but also having a good time. So it went well. A few scrapes and things like that, which can come with recreation and getting out there. So it was a great time, and just kudos to the summer rec staff. Number 2, we have many 501c3s in town for a town our size, many nonprofits. One of them is the Chisholm Beautification Association. And summer is a great time, as we all know, to continue to help beautify our town. So if anybody's interested, the community Chisholm Beautification Association meets. Right now, we've been meeting on a monthly basis as we're bringing in some new leadership while still trying to keep the legacy and those with lots of experience still on the board. There's a meeting tomorrow over at the Senior Center at 3:30. We haven't necessarily been trying to blast the community on, come to the meeting, come to the meeting. Our approach has been, let's start acting in the community. And as people start seeing things and they're interested, the focus is getting out there and doing things. So a couple things we're going to do this summer. You can pass these around. We're doing just a really fun, low-stake community cleanup day where we're trying to really foster environmental stewardship with kids. So I'll be bringing my kids out. We're going to get a giant map of the city, and we're going to send people out on a scavenger hunt to just clean up. It's going to be litter focused. You don't have to keep those flyers, but if you wanted to just take a look, I'll have these around town. Tuesday, July 22nd. At 5 p.m. we will meet. So if you're hearing this at home, everybody is welcome. Come as you are. We are requesting, and I do know Larry's aware, but if there's any garbage bags that we could get from the city and maybe some gloves, we'd appreciate having the proper cleanliness with the gloves and the garbage cans or bags, excuse me. But we're going to meet at the Pocket Park, and then everybody will go off. We'll have separate spots. Another thing to consider if the city's interested is if there's certain areas you want to make sure we don't clean up, but we are going to focus on public areas, even some of the adopted area spots. But I was curious if there's those folks who have the adopted areas, would they be upset if we went out and picked up litter? I know it's a public space, but just things to consider as we do this, if there's anything you would further advise for us to do. And then the fun part is when people come back, they'll get about 45 minutes to go out. We'll get a prize for the craziest thing they find. And then it's the music in the Pocket Park. So we're hoping to bring the ice cream truck too. So fun, low stake thing that the community can do. You'll also see that we're trying to summon the community. Anybody who is interested in beautifying their neighborhood. We're starting small, but we are getting nominations into the Chisholm Beautification Association if you'd like your door beautified and painted. So that's out there. We're still taking nominations, but we're looking to do the painting on July 20th. So 2 days before that Pocket Park, the community cleanup. So we have a couple of those things going on. And then I did want to just highlight appreciation as well for our first responders that showed up. This is back in May, but I haven't had a chance to thank all of you. We had our big event over at the Vaughn School, and having Chief Ukad and Tiffany, our ambulance director, support in bringing those first responders to just have fun and be part of the end of the year bash is really neat. We had food trucks and lots of people. I think over 1,000 people came out that day. So just really grateful to have their presence at that event. And then lastly, another big event. This is a different nonprofit, but it's the Community Foundation. So this is an important one because this is our big fundraiser and a great way for us to get out and help build funds so we can grant to all those nonprofits in town, one being the city. So I'll pass this around. I know the city doesn't have a team, but if any of you are golfers or you're interested, we're always looking to get new teams on that event. We do appreciate the city's consideration for funding the lunches every year. I know that might be something that's brought up today, but that event's huge. So if anybody in the community, business owners, folks are interested, you can get in touch with me or the Community Foundation on our social media. If you'd like to sponsor a hole, it's $100 to sponsor a hole, or if you'd be interested in a prize donation. But it's a well-oiled machine, but I think it's always fun. If you haven't heard of it, it's a great event that we have in July at the end. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you to all the volunteers that helping you out. All right, moving on to council reports. Councilor Halverson.
Good evening. I can give a little brief update at Redhead. The north rim repair has been mostly completed, except for the mine fence and some seating. But, big thanks to Larry and Justin Olson from Bogalis and Brett and John from Fine Line. We all work together and got it done. So far, so good.
Excellent.
And the pump track at the trailhead is well underway. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
It looks like there's way more there than what they had on the plan. So that's good. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Marty.
No official report, but I would like to say welcome to Colin, our new rec director. Welcome to the center of the universe. You'll figure it out pretty quick. So,
Thank you, Jim.
Yep.
Jeff, good evening.
Good evening. Couple things. Obviously, Colin, welcome to the heartbeat of the Iron Range. Thank you. Not just the center of the universe, heartbeat of the Iron Range. I just want to highlight, like Jen did, a couple of other events. Doc Grande's is right around the corner, same time as the county fair. So we have a busy end of July, beginning of August coming up. The parade here in town is at noon on August 2nd. And we are still looking for entrants. If you would like to be an entrance for your business, or you know someone who might, you can sign up with Shelly at the chamber office. And then I had a chamber board meeting this morning, and we have an upcoming event that is brand new. It is a Halloween kickoff on Saturday, October 4th, a zombie pub crawl. I'll leave it at that. Sweet. For now. More details to come. That's all I have.
Thanks, Jeff. April, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. I have no formal report. Thank you, though.
Thank you. Jed, good evening.
Good evening. I attended the Rams legislation update last week in Virginia, Mount Iron, the Northeast Co-op. Lots of good stuff from our local reps and our senators. So some stuff going in the pipe. So there's some bonding going on now and stuff like that. So that's good news. We have a Lake Street Market next Tuesday evening on Lake Street between 1st and 2nd Avenue. So if you're interested in vending, or we have cool food trucks coming too as well, the back end. Buns to go. I think the grilled cheese truck is coming too as well. You can email me at Lake Street Market Chisholm at gmail.com. Thank you.
I'd just like to thank councilors Marta, Oliver, and Baki for going to that meeting over at the Rams, the update there. So appreciate that. There was a lot of good information there. So I just want to briefly say, we're talking about our first responders in town, and the things that we've been dealing with over the last 30 days. There's been a lot of trying incidences. Not very well received. It's not something that you're looking forward to, not something that you expect in your small town, but just being aware and noticing and training for, when those incidents happen. It's not something that anybody really wants to deal with, but that's what we're here for. I do want to thank all my brothers and sisters in emergency services, what you guys do, the response from our law enforcement, our mutual aid departments, and just the support of not only other first responders and our directors and our leaders, but everyone around different communities, different organizations reaching out, offering a support shoulder, so the different events coming up. So something I just want to reiterate to anyone that's in the community, if you do need anything, that resources are available. So come on down to City Hall and we'll make sure that we get you in the right direction. Moving on, ambulance director. Tiffany, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. I just have a couple updates as we're fully swinging into summer and we're keeping ourselves pretty busy. We've been able to take part of things like the Side Lake Parade. We did standby for the Firecracker 5K, and we're going to continue to keep ourselves busy with, in-town parade. We'll be at the fair, especially for bull riding, and doing some events like that. But not only doing the special events, I do try to continue with our hands-on scenario-style training, not just classroom training. So just so everybody's aware, we do plan on doing a scene landing with Lifelink. In the past, I have done it over by the Vaughn. This year, we're going to try a new place over by the public safety building that Lifelink identified as a possibility for us. So just so you know, hopefully in the next week, you guys will see some action with Lifelink in the area. That will be a training next Tuesday if everything goes well. Another new thing since I've been here is this is going to be my first push for hiring. We have a couple openings, some hours that we think would be good to fill with some new staff. So we'll be hiring. We plan on taking applications at least through July and then doing some interviews in August. So there is an application on the website and we can bring that back into City Hall for those that are interested. And then switching hats to my emergency manager role. There was some questions about why there was no siren the other day when there was a tornado warning and all the other areas had a siren go off. We don't use a siren in Chisholm, and this predates my being here. We use, it's like a reverse 911 out of the dispatch in Duluth. So your phone and your landline, your cell phone and your landline will be alerted if there is a national weather situation. So that loud alert you get on your phone, that is our same system. We can utilize that system to reverse 911 use through dispatch if there's a situation in town or in any of the areas we service, which would be in the rural communities around us. We can reverse contact your phone, landline or cell phone, and give you that information. So instead of just a loud noise, we can actually hand you information. And I know I had some questions about that. So I wanted to bring it up and see if anybody else had some questions about it.
I got all the updates, so I think it's another tool to have.
Yeah, I like it because we can give information. We can, you don't go outside and open your mouth and look at the sky and see where the noise is coming from. You look at your phone and you're told to go downstairs. Or if there's other information we need to push out in whatever situation, we can do any message we want. So it's a little bit more flexible for the situation. But if anybody, there was a lot of questions, so I wanted to say that. And then if anybody has more questions, they're welcome to get a hold of me. And I'm happy to chat.
Thank you.
All right.
Yes. You think later on, it's something like that though? Bring back that?
A siren?
Yeah.
Right. So that would definitely be an undertaking. And I do appreciate the tradition of a siren. But I don't think it reaches the population as well as what we're utilizing now. So, I mean, if there is a group that wants to get together and figure out how to get a siren back in town, great. But as far as changing with technology and moving forward, I do believe our system is more cutting edge. It's able to give out a lot more information than just a noise. But yeah, if a group wants to get together and do it, doesn't hurt to have multiple systems in place. Yes.
Thank you. Please, Chief. Jim, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. As always, it's an honor and privilege to be here before you today. As you've kind of heard, and as most people know, a common theme of this meeting is some of the tragic events that have happened here in our town in the recent month. So I wanted to take this opportunity to just address the public, address our responders, and of course the council. So as many of you know, the month of June was tragic in our city. Within a matter of days, we responded to a shooting and tragically lost 2 lives and critically injured another in that shooting. And then just days later, we responded to a fatal bicycle accident right downtown in our downtown corridor, which also claimed another life. These incidents, as everyone knows, have a profound impact on our community, and sometimes we don't think of that, right? How it affects others, especially those that are directly involved and those that are indirectly involved. People that witness these things, that can be pretty traumatizing. As responders, and of course, Councillor Holloway, Councillor Vaki, Mayor Lance, Councillor Barta, as being responders, that these things can impact yourselves as well. So I just want to say, of course, our hearts go out to the families, friends, loved ones of all of these incidents, those that were involved, and we will definitely continue to support them as these investigations move forward. I also want to thank the public, the community, for all their kind words and support for not only our department, but I think for the rest of our departments as well. Chisholm Ambulance Service, Chisholm Fire Department, keeping us in their thoughts and prayers is greatly appreciated. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our partners, those that assisted in these tragic events. We can never do these type of things alone. We always rely on outside agencies for their resources, and I can honestly say we wouldn't have been able to handle these two scenarios without the help of our outside agencies and partnering agencies. So I want to personally thank the St. Louis County Sheriff's Office, along with their emergency response team, that were very crucial in that shooting, making that scene accessible to our officers and other assisting agencies at that scene. The technology that they utilize and the tactics that they use in situations like these are very essential for us as responders. Hibbing Police Department providing additional help for both incidents. Minnesota State Patrol, along with their flight crew that provided aerial assistance for the shooting, and also their recon team for that fatal bicycle crash, essential in getting information and the investigation moving forward. Of course, Chisholm Ambulance Service providing medical assistance to the victims and to our responders. Chisholm Fire Department for their help with traffic control and also assisting with medical assistance. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension and their crime scene team. They are experts at what they do. That was especially the shooting, was a very active, delicate scene with a lot of work. And it took them almost 16 hours to process that entire scene. Their professionalism and dedication to making sure that these things are done right speaks beyond words. And last but not least, my own department. I can stand here today and be proud knowing that that when these incidents happen, I can count on my own people to be there and be there in their entirety. The shooting was dangerous and emotional. It was an emotional, intense situation for our officers, for our emergency personnel, and for our community. Our officers and emergency personnel walk into these scenarios willingly, with uncertainty, not because they seek recognition, but because they believe in protecting this community. We all as responders know the risks, right, in doing these jobs, but we do it because we care, and we want to live in a community, in a world where peace matters, right? So the events of each of these tragic scenarios remind me, and I hope remind all of us, that behind every badge, every uniform, every response vehicle, every person, every human being, we all sacrifice a great deal to keep this city safe. And I'm extremely, extremely proud of everyone that was involved in this process, even the community. So I want to reassure this council and citizens of Chisholm that we'll continue working not only to uncover the full truth behind both of these events, but to stand by the families also, and remember that they're hurting and grieving too, and they have to live with that the rest of their lives. Again, like so many of you, we feel this loss deeply, and we stand with everyone who's grieving. So that's all I have. Appreciate all the support again from everybody. So thank you.
Thank you. Building official, Mandy. Good evening.
Good evening. I do have a short report. You're tough to follow, Chief McCad, and I'm just want to thank you for being a leader to our community, and we're lucky to have you as well. So I am back. I just wanted to update the council a little bit on what is happening in the building and zoning department. Today we have a total of 144 building permits with a total value of $7,988,000. With that comes building permit fees of $60,585. So it's been a very busy summer for our community, keeping me very busy. I finally found the bottom of my desk today. I also just want to update the council on the 2025 residential redevelopment program grant that we approved. That has been completed, and we have received the grant back from the IRRB. And with that, we were able to demolish 7 structures. There were 5 St. Louis County tax forfeit homes and 2 garages. So we have to clean up the city a little bit with that. So thank you, and thank you, council, for your support. If there's any questions.
Nice to have you back, man.
City Engineer Jim.
Again, I'd like to reintroduce Ellie Lemke with SEH, who's the project manager on both the 5th Street South project as well as our street reconditioning mill and overlay program that's been completed. And then Matt Estee with TNT, our contractor, they'll give you an update on the status of our 5th Street South project.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. The mill and overlay project is actually complete. They got that done in 1 week, and it looks really well. It looks really good. There should be pay app number 1 in the agenda later tonight, and that is like 95% of the project cost. Really just retainage and a few items, but otherwise it looks good.
Thank you. Matt?
How's it going?
Good.
I'd say by the end of next week, we'll be really close to being done, finished with the utilities. And the only other thing I really have is sometime in the middle of next week, we'll have to have a water shutdown on 5th Street Southwest between 4th Avenue and 2nd Avenue. And that could be up to 3, maybe 4 hours. So we'll provide notices to all the people, and just a heads up to them that their water will be shut down to do our final tie-in.
When do they get that notice?
They'll have it at least 24 hours prior. So I'll try to get it out as soon as I can. Hopefully by Monday I can get it and have an actual plan on when it will happen.
I appreciate that. How's everything else going?
It's no more hiccups. It's going really well. We solved an issue with all the services and a bunch of random stuff coming out of the school that, we all don't know. It was a hard time trying to figure out what everything was, but we took the proper tests to make sure everything was what we thought it was, and then we made a plan to fix it. So, and other than that, everything's been going really well.
Do you guys shut the water down, or does the city shut the water down?
Well, it's usually a joint effort, but it's usually a joint effort. I let them know. We combine forces, do it together.
The big question, the paving. November.
I very well hope not, but I don't see that being a problem. So I think our dirt crew will be at dirt work and concrete will be coming right in after us, and it should go very smoothly after that. So no more paving it.
Before Labor Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you guys do concrete now, or are you hiring Nick Lake, or what?
We do have concrete.
Oh,
we do have the concrete. Yeah, we have our nice fancy curb machine that does all that, and it does the sidewalk as well, actually. So, but yeah, they're very good at what they do. So.
Who's the subcontractor for the paving?
I think it was Masaba Bituminous last year, and I assume that they will be again. So
might be waiting a little while. They have 42 roads of diving.
Yeah.
They're supposed to start today, and they didn't.
So well, there you go. So
some things never change, Jim.
but hopefully this project will get done sooner than last year, and they'll have ample time to do that. So.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, sir.
Could you elaborate a little bit on all the lines and pipes that you found?
So on our engineering plan, we only had 2 sewer services that were known that we were going to be connecting to, and 1 storm sewer service. But we found, I believe it was 4 extra 6-inch services that we had no idea were there. So when we dug them up, because now you can't connect storm sewer to your sanitary anymore, and that's to eliminate costs for the cities on treating their water plants. But we did
listening.
Yeah, yeah. We did water tests. We took samples out of all the pipes. We cambered them all, and we just determined that they were storm sewer, probably roof drains or whatnot, clay tile around the building. And our water samples came back yesterday, and it appears that they're all storm sewer. So we made a plan, Jim and TNT, Ellie. We made a plan to connect all that, so it's not just running into the road. So
It's all being connected to the storm sewer system now that we.
Sanitary?
I'm sorry?
yes, they were.
Yeah.
And that was typical at the time that was all done. So
Excellent. Any questions?
thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Ellie. Thank you, Matt.
Public Works, Larry. Good evening.
Evening, everyone. You have a busy night tonight. I'll try to be brief. My notes will be a little mixed up because I did want to speak a little bit to that. The sewer department this year is making big improvements, and I'll have a little bit better report for you next month. And one of those is just finding these storm sewers that are into the sanitary system. The school's a huge property, and they don't entirely know if it's foundation drains, if it's some roof drains, but finding 4 of these big 6-inch services that go into our sanitary system is just huge. So it's amazing. That's huge. And then in the sewer department, like I said, I will have a little bit better. I want to lay some pump data out for you all, but when we do get these rains that are generally speaking not normal for us, we get these 100-year rains or these 250-year rains, 500-year rains. Pump technology is a big thing, a lot bigger than it was 10, 15 years ago when our lift station was built. For example, we have 3 major main pumps in our lift station, and they generally speaking pump about 2,100 gallons a minute. And that's a lot of water. That's a lot of wastewater. Just with pump technology and using our existing running gear and everything, for about $10,000, we can upgrade a pump that needs to be rebuilt anyway, and we can pump 2,700 gallons a minute. So from 2,100, 2,700 gallons a minute. So our emergency pump pumps 600 gallons a minute when we really, really need it, right? And so just a little bit of pump technology and a slight upgrade can get us to that capacity right away. And that's only with 1 pump. And it's nowhere at our greatest capacity that we've ever been at in the city of Chisholm. And we're going to do a second pump to get us to about 2,400 off of that 2,100. And then we'll have a brand new pump at 2,100 as well. So big things in the sewer department when it comes to the rains and, sewers in people's basements, things like that. There's another one it was just a small part is that the stormwater getting into the lake, getting out of the lake. We did the cattail removal project. Appreciate that again. I'll have some data and some pictures for you on that as well. The pictures just came in today, so I want to be able to get them to you in color in the council packet. So it's just a small piece of the sewer puzzle and the way that we function in Chisholm. So there's that. Most importantly, especially if you're at home, the citywide cleanup is this week. It's going on right now. A little bit of a slower start than we've seen. But with the 4th of July and stuff, but it's appreciated. And we've had neighbors helping neighbors, being able to bring stuff down, vacant lots that they live next to, things like that. So you're willing to bring all those things down in the city garage. We have some seasonal help that'll help you unload. And we just want to clean up the city with every little thing. And it's, when it's free, it's a lot easier sometimes, especially when you're trying to help somebody. So citywide cleanup. And then, so today is obviously done, but tomorrow is 7 to 7. So tomorrow's the big night. If you work till 5 o'clock, you still got time to bring it down till 6:45. And then we try to kind of slow it down a little bit. So citywide cleanups going on. We started painting this week. The crosswalks are painted on Lake Street. You've seen the curbs up on, we got some seasonals painting curbs with, just paintbrushes and kneeling pads and going up and down Lake Street. So it really pops, makes it really look nice, especially with the crosswalk blocks. That's huge. Seasonals are doing a great job. You know, they're real busy kids now than they used to be. There's football already starting in college, things, but we're getting a lot of work done, and you can always reach out to us if we're missing something in your neighborhood, but a lot of work going on right now. Seasonals, we brought on, 21 again this year, 22. And just an honorable mention, I'm not an HR professional, so I won't go in depth, but I want to thank Susan Trunk, especially. We have 3, special needs. Can I say special needs? Again, not a professional in HR, so I'll just kind of leave it at that. We have special needs people that are working for us. They're amazing. One of them, arguably, maybe our best that we have this year. So that's going on all over the city. You'll see random people picking up garbage and doing special tasks, and they may have a helper with them. So lots going on. With that, we're demoing a new machine in the water and sewer department, so I'll bring that back to you folks after we get through the PUC and stuff like that. And, the spongy moth, I think we're going to talk, is it in the, I know there was the flyers, spongy moth. I did check with drinking water protection. I wanted to note that it's okay. They are spraying around our water draw area, but there's no safety protocols, nothing to worry about. So I just did want to note that. So it came up. I called the Department of Health. We got the green light. So anything for me?
Appreciate that, Larry.
Yeah. I'll let you be. You have a busy night.
I just have one statement
Please.
for the public about Larry. You can call Larry anytime you want. He does answer his phone. If you see a problem, like I called him today, there was a street light on at 10 o'clock in the morning. So he's very helpful. He'll help anybody. So just wanted the public to know that.
And I do get a lot of calls, so if I don't answer, leave me a message and I will call you back.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Larry.
Yep.
Thanks, Larry.
City Parks, Trails, Rec Director. Welcome and good evening.
So hello everyone, my name is Colin Luke. I'm the new Parks, Trails, and Rec Director here for the city of Chisholm. It might come as a shock to you, but I don't have a super long report as I'm in day 3. But the first 3 days have been awesome. Met a lot of great people here in the city. The only time I've been in Chisholm too often is just to play the Blue Streaks in baseball. So I'm getting to know the city a lot more each of these days, and went down to Redhead today with the community rec, or the summer rec program. There we go. And that was a lot of fun. So I only saw probably 1/80th of it because we walked for about 2 hours, but, looking forward to getting to know the city a little bit more and getting to meet, the community. So that's all I have.
Welcome.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Super excited to get going. What is it?
I know you came from UMD, right?
Yep. That was my last place I worked. I went to school at Mankato though.
So you're a Gopher fan, right?
I am a Gopher fan.
All right.
How did you? Wait, how did you know that?
Because we all should be Gopher fans.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. No, it was tough for me when I was working at UMD. The only games I went to for the Bulldogs games were when the Gophers played them. And then they're like, well, you're obviously rooting for UMD, right? And I go, no. So yeah, go Ghosts. But yeah, looking forward to being a Blue Streak now, even though I was in the Southeast Giant in high school. So yeah. So yeah, sounds good. Yeah. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Library Supervisor, Katie, good evening.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Quick update from the library. We're now in our 6th and final week of the summer reading program. It's been a successful summer with 212 kids and teens participating this year. As part of our programming, we had an engaging program today with the Science Museum of Minnesota, where kids got to explore different fossils and what they can teach us about dinosaurs. So that was well received, and we had a packed house of 103 kids and 31 adults in the library today. Next Wednesday, we have our annual tie-dye party at the library from 10 to 1 o'clock p.m. So participants just need to bring a white item to dye, and all the other supplies will be provided. So hope to see you there for that. Also, I'm just excited to announce that the library is now part of the Minnesota State Park Library Program, and we've partnered with the Minnesota DNR to provide free 7-day state passes to be able to check out to our patrons. So the goal of offering this program is basically just to provide individuals a visit to the state parks and enjoy the recreation that Minnesota has to offer without the financial barrier of an entry fee. So the pass gives you access to any state park within Minnesota. Over 200 libraries currently participate in this program, and we're excited to now be part of it. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
City Attorney Brian, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor. No formal report, but I am happy to field any questions the council may have.
No question, Mr. Mayor. How are we doing on white?
Okay. I think from the legal perspective, and I'm not from the sweeps that the PD are doing, but from our legal perspective and from the actions that we've commenced with those 5 or 6 targeted properties, we've got a little bit of movement, not as much as I was hopeful for, but I will, if it's all right, I'll bring a full report back to next month's meeting.
City Clerk Treasurer, Evan. City Administrator Stephanie, good evening.
Good evening. Happy to report that we have a full staff with the department heads, so I didn't have to do 2 reports today, so that was nice. Welcome, Colin. We've been just visiting different parts of the community for him to start diving into that, so that's exciting. Also want to thank our emergency services staff. I'm very proud of them, and just thank you for all the service that you do for our community. It really means a lot to us and to your members.
Thank you, Stephanie. All right, council. We'll move along to the consent agenda, which consists of a list of bills available in council chambers, communications, minutes of previous city council meeting, payroll, and overtime. Unless there's any corrections, I will look for a motion and support for the consent, to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Travis. Support. Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Any unfinished business? Moving on. Mandy. Building official. Good evening. Welcome back.
Mayor and Council. On June 9th, the Planning Commission unanimously approved the variance request of Mark Bradseth at 100 4th Avenue Northeast. The variance request consists of a 2-foot setback instead of a 15-foot setback on the south property line. You should have the survey, the legal survey in your packet, showing the requested variance setback.
All right, council. Oh, perfect. Thank you, April.
I'll second.
Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? If there was any question, I didn't quite hear.
Did you say unanimous?
It was unanimous.
Okay. One thing I just like to point out while in the discussion here, one thing that we look at in the planning and zoning is, does it fit the neighborhood? What's going on, and this setback does fit the neighbor across the way with their garage and their shed that is the same distance away. Any further discussion? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Go build your garage.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. I was warned by the staff yesterday not to take my normal 1 hour of presentation, so here we go.
Appreciate you, staff.
Going quickly to page 14, the first item we have is change order number 2 for the Thomasoni Memorial Arch. And as I summarize in that request for council action, and as you'll see in the detail that follows on the following couple pages, One is a deduct of $620 revisions on the electrical system. And then the second item is just an extension of the completion date from June till August 1st to accommodate the new lettering that is on order at this point and allowing that to get manufactured, delivered, and installed. So with that, I would recommend approval of change order number 2 for the Thomasonian Memorial Arch, which just again revises the final completion date and reduces the cost by $620.
Council, I look for a motion support.
Motion.
Thank you, April. Support. Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. And then if you'll turn to page 19, this is pay application number 1 on our street mill and overlay or reconditioning project, which LA presented to you previously. And this was the overlay on 4th Street Northwest from 2nd to 7th Avenue, and then 2 stretches on 7th Avenue between 2nd and 4th Street and between 6th to 8th Street. And as Ellie indicated, this is most of the cost of that entire project. And if you'll go through the details, you see that the contract was for just under $200,000. The work that was certified to date is, as you'll see on these pages, is $156,753.13 less the 5% retainage. There is about $10,000 worth of retainage and additional quantities that we did not have access to when this was prepared that will be coming to you next month. But the bottom line is, with that work certified to date of just under $157,000 plus probably another $10,000 would bring it to $166,000. The contract was for $199,000. So we'll be looking at a savings. We were able to use less quantities of bituminous to achieve, which I think is a very good looking project. Now it certainly improves the look of the neighborhood and the rideability of those streets. So hopefully in the end we'll be saving some $30,000 to $35,000. So with that, I would recommend approval of pay application number 1 in the amount of $148,915.47. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Jim. Council, I look for a motion of support to approve pay application number 1. Motion. Thank you, Jim.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. Next one, I think, is that line, page 36. Yes, for PAP. Is that the right one, or did I skip one? 24. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Sorry, Raj.
Here we have pay application number 2 for that 5th Street Southwest project that Ellie and Matt presented to you earlier. And if you go back in the following pages, as you look at the last 4 columns, you'll see the quantity of work that was done this request or this month. And that's on the 3rd and 4th columns from the right side. And then the last 2 columns give you a total quantity today, which would include all the work done on pay application through pay application number 1 and number 2. And as Matt indicated, and Ellie, we're reaching very close to the end of all the utility work. The sewer and water main lines are all in. The sanitary sewer services are all completed except for 2 houses where we have to have the lines under porches lined with PVC because we're not able to get under there to construct it, but we'll get them tight so we don't have the I&I situation. They have the water services are all completed to the property line. We have 2 properties which have lead service lines that will be replaced now, as Matt indicated, within the next week and a half, and they'll have the storm sewer work completed as well. So then they'll be able to get going on the street reconstruction of that project. So again, if you go through the detail that's provided in those following pages, you can see what the major work items were during the past month of June, and the total work completed that you see here on page 24 that I summarized was $367,450.50. We hold the 5% retainage, which amounts to about $18,370. So what we're requesting is payment and recommending is payment of $349,035.22. And I would be happy to try and answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
So you said it was 367,405. On page 33 at the bottom says 362,000 for this request.
Just not here. Page 26.
Was that not counting what's on 34?
Did I say? Yeah, the request amount paid this request, which is also on page 26, is $349,035.22, please.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, April. I was just looking on with discussion here on page 33. The amount of this request was 362. Wouldn't it be 362 less than 18%? Or where's the 367 number? Page 34. Is that what the 4759?
So 367 minus the retainage. So we can 49
I was just curious where the 367 was. Oh, there it is. Okay. Last page on here. Okay. Motion support. Thank you, Jed and April. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. Then if you'll turn over to page 36, we have pay application number 8 for the sports arena. And if you'll go to page 38, again, if you go to column E, it's the work completed this period, which again, you see a lot of that work is on the refrigeration system, the sports arena floor, the curling floor are the major items. Major work completed during that month amounted to $437,465.40. From that, we retain the 5% retainage again of $21,873.27. So what we are recommending is payment in the amount of $415,592.12. With that, I'd be happy to try and answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Jim. Council look for a motion and support for application number 8. Thank you, Marty. Support. Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. And then if you'll turn to page 39, this is pay application number 12 for last year's infrastructure replacement on 5th Street Southeast. This is work completed during the month of May, and it primarily is for the application of the bituminous swearing course, plus some adjustments on some quantities for sidewalk and driveways. But the total work completed that you'll see primarily in those two items for the bituminous is $60,021.24. Less, we're only really holding 2% retainage at this point of $1,200.42. So we're recommending payment of $58,820.82. our hope is the sod work has now, I think, been completed. So next month we should be receiving the final pay application so we can close out this project. So with that, I would recommend payment of the $58,820.82 and would be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Council, look for a motion of support for pay application number 12.
Motion.
Support. Jim, thank you, Marty. Any further discussion?
Yeah. Jim,
Sure.
where are we on the same page with them with the direction that we sent back to them because of liquidated damages that we were discussing? We're in agreement on what was, I don't want to approve a final payment if we're not in, if we don't have it.
That's a final decision for the council yet to make. And from what I remember of that work session, it was going to depend on their performance and responding, correcting, finishing up the project in a timely manner. And I think that's been accomplished. I apologize, I don't recall all the details, but it was passed on to
I
them.
don't want to completely close the loop on this project until that decision is finalized.
Correct. That'll be your decision when we get ready to finalize this project. And that's why we're still retaining 2%, which would cover more than the maximum that we had talked about in terms of liquidator damages.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the council. And then if you'll turn to page 45, what I have before me are the preliminary plans. We've got to do some finalization of the plans for the improvements at the ice arena, which are part of the requirements from the bonding bill that, as I recall, Stephanie, from the state, that we had to make improvements. And what we are doing is expanding the parking lot on the east side of the ice arena, expanding it to the south towards the water tower, putting in a new driveway on the south side of the building. And then we're going to be reconstructing the parking and driveway area on the west side of the building as well. What we are proposing with your approval of the plans and specs and authorization to bid is to bid this project at first Wednesday, which I think is August 6th, and then to bring those bids to you for your approval and authorization at your August 13th meeting. So with that, I would ask and recommend the approval of the Resolution 0725-54 for the approval of plans and specs and authorization to bid that project. And I will leave these preliminary plans in the building official and parks department shelving right inside the door for your look and review.
Also, I'll look for a motion support for resolution 0725-54. Approval of plans and specs. Great motion. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion?
Is this included in the plan?
Yes, that was, I think it was part of the requirements. That,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jim.
thank you, Mayor, members of the council.
Thank you.
Keith.
All right. Hello again. In a minute here, I'm going to introduce some guests that we have attending the meeting via Zoom once we get our TV rolling here. While we're working on that, we are going to be introducing the new mural for Chisholm. And so I do want to take a beat and just share that this project was a collaboration effort between our artists, Kata and Lena, the City of Chisholm, the Downtown Revitalization Committee, the Library Board, and members of the community. And it has been fully funded through the Rural Leadership Boost Grant provided by the Blandon Foundation. So just a little background on that. And then I'm excited to introduce our guest. Kata and Lena are the two amazing artists that we have chosen to create the new mural for our community and who are joining us via Zoom this evening. And Hello. And before I hand over the mic, I do want to just share that the rendering you will see tonight was shaped through a series of community meetings, input sessions, and thoughtful revisions guided by the dedicated subcommittee. The themes and visual elements in the mural directly reflect the voices and ideas shared by the residents throughout the process. And Kata and Lena really did a remarkable job translating the ideas and the visions and the perspectives and all the feelings into a cohesive and inspiring piece of art. So it's been a fun and an exciting process. I've personally learned a lot through this process, and I'm just excited to introduce everyone to Kata and Lena to present the final piece. You guys are up.
We can.
Yeah.
As everyone here is quiet. Excellent. Okay, then.
Thank you so much.
Looks fantastic. Very
And-
exciting. Nice to see it come too.
Yeah, thank you. It's exciting. One thing I just wanted to expand on a little bit. I know Lena mentioned at the end, we're really excited to include kind of this hands-on community engagement component as part of the install. So community members of any age will have the opportunity to partake in bringing the mural to life through like a paint by number process. So if you can visualize, like the mural will be sketched onto the wall, and then anybody can come. We've got 2 different sessions on Wednesday, July 30th from 10 to noon, which will be kind of geared towards more kids. And then an afternoon session from 4 to 6, which will be more adults, where kids will actually get the paint and get to go paint the mural and be part of the install process. So we're excited about kind of that engagement piece as well. I think that's the whole picture. Any questions?
Looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your hard work. You know, it's something that's been going on for a while. So
It has. We're excited to
Appreciate
bring
the
some
process.
updated art to the space.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Gina. Library donation. You're back.
Sorry. All right, on page 48 of your packet, we're looking for the approval to adopt a resolution to accept a $100 donation from Barbara Bowden in loving memory of Mary Gavilio Bonacelli, and earmark the funds for the Chisholm Public Library.
Well, thank you very much, Mary. Sorry, Barbara.
Yeah.
I'll look for a motion and support for resolution 0725-55. Thanks, support. Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? Good, thank you, letter already.
Yes, we got that done.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
Thank you, Katie. Clerk Treasurer Devin. Good evening.
Good evening. I have 4 items on the agenda. First is resolution 0725-56, formally accepting donation from the Evelyn Elks to be earmarked for the youth soccer program.
Excellent. Thank you, Travis. Support. Any further discussion? Besides, thank you to the Evelyn Elks. I'm sure thank you will be going well. Thank you very much. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Then on page 52 is resolution number 0725-57, accepting grants from IRRB for the Public Works grant, or from the Public Works grant program for 5th Street Southwest Infrastructure Project. The amount is $600,000, and this will be paired with some PFA, well, hopefully PFA money that will be finally in October.
Council, I'll look for a motion and support for resolution 0725-57. Motion. Thank you, Jim. Support. Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next on page 54 through 82 is resolution number 0725-58, authorizing the issuance and sale of a $381,560 taxable grant anticipation revenue note. This is for the lead service line, which was for the 2024 5th Street infrastructure project, which it's been long awaiting this resolution and all the bond documentation. So basically, I think I kind of went over this before in the previous meeting. That's grant anticipation note. We'll get the money, and we're just waiting on grant funds. And it's 0% interest, so it's basically just a wash in the end.
Thank you. Council, I'll look for motion and support for resolution 0725-58.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jack. Support. Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Then page 83 through 85, just another round of budget adjustments to keep up with the activity that's been going on in the city. There aren't really any that, insurance reimbursements. The only reason why we may be spending a little bit more there is because of our deductible. Otherwise, most of them are just for, I guess I can go through these quick. Number 54 is just to move to between budget line items to get them to where they're actually coded, so they're not in capital outlay. 55, we moved some contingency money for a dryer vent that wasn't anticipated. 56, insurance for the squad that hit the pole, so that's just budgeting for that money. 57, FEMA repairs for the library, just reflecting that for the grant revenue and the additional expenditures there. Then 58 and 59 are just for donations to reflect the additional spending for donations that we received through the year.
Okay, Council, I'll look for a motion and support to approve the budget adjustments. Thank you, Travis.
Second.
Thank you, Jim. Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stephanie.
Okay. First item I have on the agenda is the Never Surrender Bike Tour. We've been going to discuss that. They're looking at the end of the bike tour here in Chisholm. So
Thank you, Stephanie. Mayor Lance, council members, thank you for considering our request this evening. We're here on behalf of Never Surrender. This is Todd Lauer, and he'll give you just some brief information here shortly. But we're looking at closing down First Avenue Southeast to Second Avenue Southwest on September 20th. We'll be bringing in about 100 bikers plus volunteers, etc. Under the Tomasoni Archway. Last year we came into town, but we went to the Snowmobile Club, right? So we didn't come all the way into town. And now with the Archway, what we're looking at is we think it would be really great. So it's coming near completion. I've been talking with some of the committee members, and we need to loop in Shelley from the chamber as well to try to create a larger event, since we're going to be highlighting that location with the city of Chisholm. And like I said, 100 plus bikers, about 11:45 to 2:45 is the time span. So it would be early afternoon. We'd probably be out of there by 3 o'clock. The bikers are bused back to Fortune Bay. This is a 2-day event. The bikers come in and they bike over 100 miles in 2 days. You can choose to go a half ride or a full ride. And then on Saturday night, there's a big event up at Fortune Bay for a fundraiser. Never Surrender has raised over $6 million in the last 5 years. And then again, overall totals are 26 million plus. And so, as all of you may or may not know, the late Senator David Tomasoni was a huge advocate, of course, for ALS, and he unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. And this was actually Todd's idea to have this bike event, because Never Surrender actually hosts 3 events. It's the Blackwood Blizzards Tour, which some of you may have heard of, and they do the ALS fishing event down in Duluth, the Kohler Toyota event. And then this is the 3rd event that Never Surrender has added, and it's been growing and growing. So just real quick, Todd, you might want to just talk about how this kind of came about.
So this came about, I'm a person living with ALS, and I've had it for 10 years now. And I was at my doctor, and we were talking about another group that had raised some money. Some motorcyclists had gone out, raised a bunch of money for ALS, and she looked at me and she said, "What are you going to do, Todd?" And I thought, holy crap, I got this disease now, and and I got to do something too. So we go home. My wife says, bike ride would be a really good ALS fundraiser. Well, I said, yeah, it sure would. And then a couple of years go by, and David Townsend gets ALS. He came to my house a few times because I knew David and appreciated him very, very much. Well, then all of a sudden the idea kind of kicks back in, and it says, this would be a great thing to honor him and his legacy and everything like that. And before he died, he actually Never Surrender went to him and said, hey, we're going to do a bike event in your honor. And so he knew about it, he knew everything about it, and it started off as 20, I think there were 25, something like that, riders, 29, 25 riders. We raised $156,000. Last year we raised, we had about 74 riders. We raised 280,000, something like that. And this year we've got 99 riders signed up. We're looking for at least one more. So if anybody wants to ride, come on out. And our goal is for 300,000. Hopefully we can surpass that. You never know.
So it'll be a nice community event. And again, it'll showcase the Archway, ALS, the city of Chisholm, and all the great work that you've been doing here. So thank you for the consideration.
What was the streets?
It would be closure of 1st Avenue Southeast up to 2nd Avenue Southeast. So that's like 3 blocks. It would include, on Lake Street. Yes. Yep. All right. Any other questions, comments?
What was the time of it?
11:45 to 2:45. So 11:30 to 3 o'clock, basically. And the riders will come in staggered. So they'll all finish, and then we'll have probably some music, some food, those types of things will involve the businesses in downtown Chisholm, and we'll be coming in knocking on some doors.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Linda, is there going to be any?
No. No.
It's not saying that a couple people won't go into the bars or something like that by themselves here.
Well, that's enough to make it Citywide Festival. So the time is, what was the date?
September 20th.
20th. Do you think 11:30 to 3 is enough time, or do you want a little more of a window there for people coming and going?
Maybe a window on the front end, because the bus will get them on that bus to get back. Because then there's a banquet and there's a fundraiser and there's a lot. And so, and then probably clean them out too, yeah.
Okay, council, so let's do 11 to 3:30. All right, so we're looking for a motion and support to approve the street closure for Never Surrender Bike Tour Block Party on September 20th from 11 to 3:30.
Yeah, motion.
Support a Citywide Festival? Or no? No. Motion by April, second by Jim. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you.
Next item I have on the agenda is to approve resolution number 0725-59. As you recall, council, this parcel has come to the council prior. The Children's Family Dental Service is interested in purchasing that parcel, and is tasked with working with them to do a development agreement, which is what the next agenda item is in the packet. So the first agenda item would be to finalize the purchase of that parcel for $4,300, which is the tax assessed value. And it's a parcel on Lake Street, adjacent to the building of the art home.
Council, I look for a motion and support for resolution 0725-59.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed. Support. Thank you, Travis. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Next item on the agenda is the development agreement with Children's Dental Services. As you recall, this will also coincide with the parcel that we just approved to purchase, where they will be building a building on that parcel. This just outlines all the regulations to get that building built. 2-story residential up top, commercial on the bottom.
Thank you, want to work on that for us? Council, I look for a motion and support to approve the development agreement in the city of Chisholm and Children's Dental Service. Motion. Support. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Marty. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
The next item that I have is resolution 0725-60 to apply for a CCF grant for the Bridge of Peace Memorial. I've been working with the volunteers for that project. As you know, we are acting as a fiscal agent. They are interested in applying for funds from CCF for the marriage project.
Let's look for motion support for resolution 0725-60.
Make a motion.
Support. Thank you, Marty. Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Stephanie. Travis, you're up.
Alright, I'm up. Okay, so as Jen mentioned earlier when she spoke about the CCF Golf Scramble, it has been past practice for the city of Chisholm to provide marketing dollars to help with lunch. We can provide marketing materials should we want to do that, but this typically ends up being around $1,000, and it is, at least since I've been sitting in this chair, it's been an annual thing. So the CCF is looking for us to agree to help them with that.
Thank you, Travis. Hey, Council, so this is two ways this can go about. It can come from advertising in our budget or from our charitable gambling. I look for a motion of support to approve the request for $1,000 to come out of our charitable gambling. Motion.
Support.
Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Barrett, thank you for sitting through. Welcome. Mr. Zebrang, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Lance and members of the City Council. Was asked to come here before you today just to inform the council and to request approval of a land sale from the Chisholm-Hibbing Airport Authority to the City of Hibbing. And I'll just give you a little quick background. In 2008, the city asked if the airport had any land that they could lease to operate their animal shelter. It's on Highway 37 on the north-hand side of the road, maybe a mile west of the airport. So it's not in our airport industrial park. It's outside of that. It's in between the airport and the city. And so that lease was amended within the last couple of months. It was originally with between the airport authority and their economic development. It was amended just to add the city of Hibbing as the partner in that lease. And it goes through, I think there's 3 years remaining in that initial lease term. We lease them the 5 acres at a rate of, I think it's currently at $400. That's all that we provide is the land. The city built the buildings that are on that property. And as I'm sure you're aware, the 501c3 that was operating that facility lost their license. Now the city is working on a new plan. And with that plan, they feel it advantageous that they have control over that property as their buildings are on it. The airport authority has approved moving forward with that sale, but by state statute, the airport authority must receive consent from both cities to either buy or purchase property. So the request before you is to ask if a motion could be made to allow us to move forward with that sale. There's a lot of FAA guidelines that must be followed in order for us to sell that land. That land was the funding to buy that land did come from the FAA, and so there's very strict guidelines that we'll have to follow. Just in a brief example, the property must be appraised at fair market value. So, and then there's another process, a lengthy process, where the airport has to be released from what we call our Exhibit A map of all the airport properties. And so we'll probably most likely enter into a work order with our airport consultant to help us through that process. And so I'd be happy to answer any additional questions you may have. It is outside of any of the flight zone areas. It does not create any hazards as far as the runway arrival or departure surfaces. It will fall underneath our current airport and city zoning as far as any height limitations. But it is our understanding that the city will then sell that property to whatever 501c3 they're able to enter into an agreement with. So there's no first right of refusal. We did ask for that, and that was not the direction the city wanted to go.
Okay. And this passed unanimously
By the airport authority, yes.
Airport authority?
Yes.
And so my only question was, for future development of the runway or anything, nothing.
With Highway 37, very, very unlikely that any runway extensions or
heights or anything.
that would all be covered under our existing zoning. Well, the zoning that we're redoing now at this time. So.
Does the FAA have to approve this? If we do?
They do well, in a sense, yes. So in following their guidelines, we will have to write them a letter explaining why the airport is looking at selling the property, what the land use will be at the end of the sale, and so yes, they will ultimately be approving it.
This is Mayor, one question.
Yeah.
So are we going to see a final amount before? So if we approve this tonight, we're going to see a final amount to be received from the city?
That'll be hard to determine. I'm anticipating that this process could take a year or longer before it is completely done by the FAA. I anticipate, this is my personal feeling, that it's not going to be on the top of anyone's workload. It'll be this is going to be a process to go through. Hopefully we can expedite it as much as we can, working with our airport district office down in the Minneapolis area. But all money must stay at the airport. So the money, whatever the land sale money is, the airport will, I guess that hasn't been determined by the board, whether it'll go into the general fund, economic development savings account, but that money will stay within the airport accounts. And there's zero, the agreement, the letter of intent that was provided to the airport from the city of Hibbing did clearly state there'll be no cost to the airport. Right? They will be covering any incurred costs. So from surveying to the appraisal to whatever that work order is with our consultants, they will reimburse us.
Okay. Council, I would look for a motion of support to approve the sale of the property from the Chisholm Airport Authority to the city of Hibbing.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
Haven't been over here for a while, so thank you.
Second page. Okay, so Hibbing, did they agree to that date on the August 25th of the airport authority meeting?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, next up, council, I'll look for motion support. Looking at August 25th for the joint meeting, Chisholm Paving Airport Authority, 6 p.m. Thanks, Marty. Support. Thank you, Jim. Any further discussion? It is just important that we have a quorum at this meeting. So if something does not look like it'll work, let's try to reach out ahead of time. I currently have that date open, so. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we have the memo of understanding with MDC and IRRR. I'm not sure if we guys see we got a couple board members in the audience here, but we had discussed this at the working session a couple weeks ago. So I would look for a motion and support to approve the memo of understanding.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Marty. Support. Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Council. Next on the agenda is the Chisholm Police Commission. We also discussed this at our working session 2 weeks ago. Where we talked about this is one commission or board that is separate from the city. Where we talked about there are 2 ways to bring the oversight of the police department back to the city, and that's either by a motion of support with the unanimous vote or changing of the city charter. I know a lot of the conversation kind of went around the future of the contracts, the communication, and pretty much the trying to get this board back in line with the rest of the boards inside the city of Chisholm. So I'll open up for discussion right now. If anyone has any input, anyone has any questions, otherwise I would look for a motion and support to abolish the police commission.
So I guess I'll start. Full disclosure, I am the council rep for the police commission currently. Everyone up here knows that. None of you probably know that. So full disclosure. When we left the working session, I think we all were in some kind of agreement, but I don't know if we were all ever said we were in total agreement to do this. I gotta tell you, I'm 50-50 on it, and it's mainly because I think we need to have another discussion about it. I don't think we have all the answers to just abolish a commission, and then what happens at midnight tonight? Like, what's the plan? So for various reasons, I think we should table this and have one more discussion before before I'm comfortable saying yes or no to it. At the commission meeting, the commissioners gave their thoughts on the situation, which I take into consideration. I take into consideration the idea that this is the only board different than other, advisory boards that the city has. There is certainly concerns. I have my own concerns about that. The number of people that sit on that, I think, is something. But this has been in our city charter forever. So, we have to update our city charter anyway. And so, if the main reason to abolish is due to the contract issues that we've run into in the process of hiring a new chief, I think there are ways that we can fix that without abolishing it. Like I said, I'm 50-50 on it. But I don't think until I'm comfortable knowing at 12:01 what the plan is and who's in charge, and if there are already put things in place, what happens. Like, I don't know that I'm comfortable today. I'm not saying I'm not comfortable voting yes. I'm just saying I think that I need more answers before I'm 100% comfortable one way or the other. So those are my thoughts.
Thanks for that insight, Travis, and those are really good points. We haven't really come up with a firm plan of where are we going next. We made a decision, talk about a decision, ending it, but we really need a plan going forward. So we're in discussion. But if we're making a change, we need to know what we're changing to. Is it going to be gone completely? No board, no advisory board, we haven't really decided that. So I agree with Travis. We need to do some more due diligence on the options. If we are going to end this, well, then what are we going to do? And it splits. Is it strictly an advisory board? Is it nothing? So, in that regard, I agree with Travis. I think we probably should do some more due diligence before we make a decision, because what happens if all the one what's the plan is. Yes, just give it all to Stephanie, that's what we always do, right? So, I'm on board with Travis. Get a clear plan and put together before we make our plan. Especially in these two things.
Mr. Mayor, I'm on the fence too. I look at both sides and I agree that, hey, we can do this, we can do this. The Public Utilities Commission has citizens on there, it functions really well. Our council takes recommendations from that commission often. It's functioned for many years. I just think, and I have a question for the attorney too here. Does the council have the power to amend the charter before there's a charter commission meeting?
There are several ways you can amend the charter, and the initiation of a charter change can come from the city council.
Because I think as a city council, we should always abide by our charters. We are a charter city. But like I said, I'm back. I keep going back. Now the computer while I said the one. So just thinking about going back and forth on that. I think we should just table this and have another discussion before we finalize it.
Yeah, motion on the table.
Make a motion to table.
Thank you, Deb. Or thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, Project Sunshine request for street closure. Marissa, would you like to speak?
Mayor, Council, glad to be here tonight. I recently had talked to some people. We are looking into bringing called Project Sunshine downtown. With that, we would need to block off 12th Central North, or the block of 12 or Central North, and utilize the Kiwanis Park and then the lot across from it. We would do activities for the children in the lot across from it. Some Christian bands are coming in, some prayers and stuff in the park, and then the street would be utilized for vendors. I have talked to some businesses in town. The point of this Project Sunshine, I can read a little bit of what I wrote. I'm in ministry, so I work a lot with ministry and I do a lot of outreach. I work with mental health and the medical field for about 15 plus years. So I'm very connected with a lot of people in mental health and resources. And after the tragedy that happened in your town, it was on my heart to bring some happiness and some unity and some just some sunshine. So for those that aren't in ministry or aren't believers, sunshine will be just, this ball of sun. For those that love Jesus, it's sun in our heart, bringing him out and shining on your community. I'm not a longtime resident or native of Chisholm, but however, I do have family rooted here, and it has always been like home to me because of them. I I also, I'm gonna start crying. So anyways, with that being said, Project Sunshine, my mission is to bring sunshine to the community, lift up the community with the positive impact of care, help showcase resources in your local community. And I've already, out of respect for the community, asked some local businesses and who I think, could come out and bring some applications for intakes, utilize the things that we already have to bring it as a visual to people that are sitting in the dark. I'll also host a prayer of the community with some church members. I've contacted your churches in your local area. They're willing to come out and participate in this as well. Bethany from the Assembly Bethany Monson is going to come open up in prayer and singing. Dan Erickson will come with a table and welcome packets, things like that. He's from the Baptist Church. Presence Music is a very well-known band in ministry. They'll be coming doing the concert in the Kiwanis Park. So I just want to bring a hedge of protection to the community. I want to bring some smiles to your community. I want to love and laughter. I have people coming in to do free hot dogs, chips, and waters from 5 to 6. And then the vendors, whoever utilizes wants to participate, they are more than welcome to participate. So I'm just asking to be able to bring some sunshine to your community.
Appreciate that, Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you for reaching out and very well done. The council, I'll look for a motion of support to approve the street closure from Lake Street to First Avenue. I saw it. You want to do that half block? So you just need the half block first, or do you need the whole block? Just the half block will be adequate? Just the half block to the alley?
Just half block.
So I did talk to Martin Motors too, and they said they would clear the street and get everything off, so. Next, so I'd look for approval to close the street on Central from Lake Street to the alley from Kiwanis Park on July 17th from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Thank you, April. Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion?
I think she's asked for a little bigger area, like from Martin Motors to the water tower. Took that all down.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up is the chamber request for street closure for the Dock Moonlight Graham Days. You have in your packet the alternate routes. So I'd look for a motion and support to approve the street closure for August 2nd for the Dock Moonlight Graham Days.
Motion.
Thank you, Travis. Support. Thank you, Jed. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next up for us is schedule a working session to discuss Lost Road Studios LLCs. If we could also add the campground to that working session. And police commission. When was Law 40 finishing up their meetings? We want to look for the second week, the second meeting that we canceled in August and do it that night, or do we want to do it soon? 13th, we have a council meeting. So the 27th. All right, 5:30 p.m. 27th. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jed. Thank you, Travis. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And last up for us is the street closure request for the Poker Run Cancer Cruise. Move my paperwork. What day was that again?
August 9th.
So when I did talk to Joe, they, that's why I wanted to bring up, because I know he said he's got food trucks, and I don't think the festivities are really gonna happen until like, 4 or 5 in the afternoon, but the food trucks will probably be setting up a lot earlier in the day. Chief, what do you think would be a right time to close down that half block there at Town and Jerry's to make sure there's no cars parked? Should we just do it at 8 in the morning and just be done with it?
I mean, it would make it easier, and it's just foot traffic flow and how we were, if there's anything unexpected, we're already ready for it. I would.
Do we use those no parking by order police department signs ever? Each of them? Did you put them up the night before?
We have,
I think that'd be the easier thing to do. Put them up the night before, or whatever the day before. Also the date on it, so.
No, it's just that half block too. I know there's a lot of traffic, so it's up to the council. Otherwise, I would just suggest we make a motion and support to block the road August 9th from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and declare a citywide festival for that area.
Make a motion.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Travis. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. So now if I ask everyone to leave, we're going to recess into a closed session.